Hello everybody, I'm Oliver and you're learning Hungarian. Today we're going to attempt to tackle the concept of plurals in Hungarian, and while it may look fairly straightforward, don't get too comfortable because there are a load of exceptions. In fact, there are so many exceptions that the exceptions themselves might as well be called the rules and vice versa. Now this video will be using the concept of vowel harmony, much like everything else in Hungarian, so if you haven't already, I urge you to watch my video on vowel harmony beforehand. There's a link to it in the description. Let's get started. Hungarian plurals are made using mainly a K and some other vowels. The most basic rule is that if a word ends in a vowel, it will add a K onto the end to pluralize it. Cipu will turn into cipők, and ajtó will turn into ajtók. However, if the last vowel is a short a or e, then that vowel will become its variant with the acute accent before adding the K to the end. For example, similar to in my last video, ceruza becomes ceruzák. Also, kecske becomes kecskék, and so on. Let's dive into some complications. This is where we're going to be applying our skills in vowel harmony. Let's start off with the front vowels. As I hope you'll remember, the front vowels are e, ö, u, and u. We're going to further split this group and separate the e and a from the rest. For words where the last syllable uses an e or an a, we will add the ek ending. So with this in mind, standard words such as édesség, megy, ember, and krém will become respectively édességek, megyek, emberek, and krémek. Alright, now if we have words that are 2 or more syllables in length, and the last syllable uses an ö, u, or ü, then we will add the ek ending. For example, gyümölcs and öröm in plural form become gyümölcsök and örömök. Now comes something unfortunate, which is single-syllable words using ö, u, or u. These words can take either ek or ek, and there is no rule, you just have to memorize. Sör becomes sörök, and könyv becomes könyvek, while bűz becomes bűzök, and fül becomes fülek. That was the basic outline for words in the front vowel group. Now we can move on to words from the back vowel group. Your normal and simple group of back words where the last syllable contains a back vowel will take the plural ok. Therefore, words like angol, kórus, and kolostor will each turn into angolok, kórusok, and kolostorok. A couple words that might look like standard back words actually take an ak ending instead, but there's not too many, you just have to memorize them. A couple are ág and ágok, fal and falok, and ágy and ágyak. To make things more confusing, if a backword has only one syllable and it ends in 2 consonants and has an a or an a, then the ending will either be ak or ok, and the only way to know is to memorize and remember them. You can say tánc becomes táncok, but at the same time szárny becomes szárnyak. As you can see, these can go either way, so it's really just a matter of experience and exposure to the language to determine how fast you can smoothly understand which one to use. There are a few cases where words that contain an a or an a on the last syllable will be altered slightly in the plural. In these cases, the a and a will drop their accents. Of course, when we are dealing with a, we will use the ek ending, and when we are dealing with a, we will use the ak ending. Once again, these words just have to be memorized. A couple would be bogár and bogarok, pohár and poharok. Some with ek ending are levél and levelek, légy and legyek. There are a number of these nouns, and unfortunately you just have to remember them. Next point up, we have a couple words that end in either an ö, u, or o, and these words will take an extra v before their ek or ak ending. Therefore, ö and u take the vek ending, and o takes the vak ending. Within these words, the long ö, u, or o will also shorten to just simply ö, u, or o. I will give you a couple of these words. They are kő and kövek, ló and lovak, and finally fű and füvek. There is another case that, I hate to tell you once again, has to just be memorized. These are words where the last vowel is dropped altogether and the final consonant shifts over and the appropriate ending is placed on the end. That might have been a bit confusing, so let me give you an example. So basically we can take a word like dolog and get rid of the second o, so we are left with just dolg. Then we add the ok ending because the o is a back vowel. In the end, we have dolgok. Another couple words pluralized in this fashion are bokor, which turns into bokrok, and iker, which turns into ikrek. And finally, the last case we're going to cover, anything with an E in it. For words that have an E and a back vowel, the back vowel dominates. For words with an E and a front vowel, the front vowel dominates. And for words with a front and a back vowel, the back vowel will dominate. Therefore, words in these three categories are irány, játék, hideg, and ital. The way to pluralize these is irányok, játékok, hidegek, and italok. Of course, there also exist single-syllable words which have only E's as their vowels. E as in I with a dot on top, the Hungarian E, not the English E. And for those guys, it might as well be a guessing game, because some take OK, some take EK, and some take AK. For example, cheek becomes cheekok, E's becomes izek, and D becomes diok. Wow, that covers everything except for a couple of exceptions. There's always exceptions. But there is one more important thing to note about plurals in Hungarian. We only use them to refer to nouns that would normally be using nothing more than a definitive article. What this means is that to say 5 pencils, we don't need to use the plural form of the word pencil. We can just say 5 pencil or 5 ceruza. The same idea if we were to say a couple or a lot of pencils. We don't need to use the plural. We can just say egy pár ceruza or sok ceruza. On the other hand, if we don't define any known or unknown quantity of the item, then we have to use the plural. For example, if we just say the pencils are new, we don't know how many there are. If there are 4 or 17 or lots or only a few, it doesn't matter. All we know is that there's at least 2 or it's plural. So in this case, we would use the plural. A ceruzák újak. And that finally wraps everything up. I know I left out a couple of small exceptions, which only account for a couple of nouns, but that was the vast majority of nouns that I covered, so you should be alright. I hope it wasn't too confusing, and I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.